All right, everyone, time to take a look at the final episode of Arrow Season 6, which is Life Sentence. Inside the corrupt SCPD, Ricochet Team Arrow sells the precinct with Samantha Watson and the FBI. They manage to overpower the corrupt police force and capture the remaining members of the Quadrant, but Diaz is nowhere to be found. Elsewhere, Anatoly meets with Diaz, and Diaz tests his loyalty. However, with Anatoly having seen that Diaz has no honor or morals, he decides to side with Oliver. He joins him in the liberated precinct. Due to the setback, Diaz must quit to get rid of the FBI, or else he will kill Laurel. Laurel is full of contempt and hatred towards Diaz, but cannot do anything, since Diaz has suppressed her metahuman powers with the power dampening collar. Quentin is unwilling to let Laurel die, but Alfred dissuades her from trying anything stupid, as he is not really as he is not overly concerned over Laurel's fate, concerning past actions, and that she is not the Laurel. Quentin doesn't want to hear it, and intends to take matters into his own hands. Watson suggests they use Quentin to set a trap for Diaz. As Team Arrow and the FBI prepare for the ambush, Oliver talks with Renee, Dinah, and Curtis separately and formally apologizes to each of them for his unfair treatment of them. Since all three have also seen the error in their ways towards Oliver and Team Arrow, they make up, with Renee and Dinah telling Oliver they both hold a strong admiration towards him. At the ambush site, Antonio acts as the frontman along with Quentin, but Diaz doesn't show up. Realizing Diaz played them, everyone are back to square one. Quentin intends to go alone. Oliver is unable to stop him, and the two then talk about some things. Quentin finally asks Oliver about the one thing that left him wondering 6 years ago. How did Oliver manage to pass the lie detector? Oliver answers it's about maintaining a steady heart rate. Quentin then tells Oliver he's a good father, and Oliver says he's a great role model. Quentin thinks he means Robert, but Oliver actually meant Quentin. Quentin goes to Diaz's hideout and is imprisoned alongside Laurel. Laurel considers him a fool for coming, but Quentin would do anything for his daughter. Meanwhile, as the FBI attempts to find Diaz, Oliver tells everyone that Quentin left, shocking everyone. Since they've absolutely no idea where Quentin was taken, it seems it's over. But the novel calls Quentin explained that he has a pacemaker for his heart. This causes Felicity and Curtis to realize they can track his power. Since Diaz isn't aware of this, they finally catch him unaware. Diaz tortures Quentin and tells him that if he doesn't use his authority to get rid of the FBI, he will kill Laurel. Quentin refuses, and just when Diaz is about to shoot, the hideout falls under attack by Team Arrow and the FBI. Diaz's thugs are quickly overpowered, and he attempts to shoot Laurel, but Quentin jumps and takes the bullet. Diaz escapes and Oliver gives chase. Dinah comes down to Quentin and Laurel looks at Dinah, thinking she's going to kill her. But to Laurel's surprise, Dinah frees her from her collar and bindings, and both the metahumans use their sonic screams in unison to carry Quentin to safety. As Diggle, Renee, Curtis, and the FBI take out Diaz's remaining thugs, Oliver catches Diaz on the roof, and they fight. Oliver manages to defeat him, but Diaz tells him the only way to get rid of him is to kill him, and he knows Oliver won't do it. Suddenly, Laurel arrives and despite Oliver's pleas, Laurel uses a screen to blast him out from the roof. He falls to the river. Oliver is outraged at Laurel, but Laurel claims she had to end it, but Oliver thinks the fall won't kill him. Laurel says she can only hope. Watson is upset that Diaz wasn't taken, thinking that now there's no way to expose his corruption ring. But Oliver shows a device on his wrist, which was able to copy the contents of the hard drive Diaz wore on his neck. Quincy obtains the data and does indeed reveal all those Diaz had on his payroll. The next day, in Star City General Hospital, everyone are there for Quentin's support. Oliver talks with him and they have a heartfelt discussion. Sarah Lance also arrives, having been summoned by Laurel. Sarah meets with her deceased sister's doppelganger. She is at first amazed until she realizes that it's not her Laurel. Laurel tells Sarah Quentin is in surgery and that she called her, thinking that Quentin's daughter should be here now. Sarah asks Laurel is she like her Laurel, and with a disappointed expression she answers, hardly at all. Oliver is then being escorted by Watson, and everyone are baffled. Oliver then explains that his deal with the FBI included that once Diaz's corruption has been brought to light, Oliver will surrender to the FBI for his actions as the Green Arrow. In return, Oliver is able to get immunities for the rest. As Sarah and Laurel appear and are also shocked about Oliver's arrest, Dr. Schwartz arrives and is sad to inform that Quentin died during surgery. since his brain was rid of oxygen for 7 minutes. Everyone starts to mourn for him, and Oliver apologizes to Sarah. They also mourn as Oliver is taken away, with Felicity hugging Sarah. At the precinct, Watson has given Oliver one last talk with Felicity and William. As Felicity arrives, she backs up the camera and explains how they can get Oliver away from this. However, Oliver refuses as if he runs away now, he'll become a fugitive and his deal about immunity for Felicity and the team will also be erased. Felicity openly cries as she doesn't want Oliver to go, but Oliver has made peace with it. William enters and Oliver explains why he must go and tells William to be strong and look after himself and Felicity. Oliver is escorted outside Oliver is escorted outside the precinct, and reporters are there waiting for him. He then reveals his identity as Green Arrow to the whole world and urges his friends and allies to keep fighting for a simple goal to save Star City. Oliver's friends, as well as now wanted Diaz, watch over the broadcast, while Sarah and Laurel mourn over Quentin next to his corpse. The FBI rounds up all the corrupted officials in the city. Oliver is then escorted into a cell inside the slab-side maximum security prison. Nearly all the inmates claim he is going to die there. Oh boy. So anyway, let's take a look at some trivia surrounding this episode. The title refers to Oliver volunteering to serve life in prison at the slabside maximum security prison for his vigilantism as the Green Arrow as part of a deal he made with the FBI in order to protect the team's identities the moment he outed himself to the public. Coincidentally, there was a TV series of the same name which aired on the CW. This is the last episode of Arrow to feature Paul Blackthorne as a series regular. This episode marks the last to be co-written, but when may recall, at the time, she and Mark Guggenheim stepped down from their duties as showrunners. Quentin's death mirrors Laurel's Earth One counterparts from 1159. Both Lances were sustained a mortal wound to the abdomen from the season's main antagonist, and later died after having an abrupt seizure in the hospital after a heartfelt talk with Oliver. Diaz references the 1957 film adaptation of Old Yeller after he shoots Quentin, who took the bullet for Laurel. Laurel mentions it by name when she knocks Diaz off the roof. Quentin mentions the time he interrogated Oliver and Damaged. The Longbow Hunters mentioned in this episode will play a major role in the next season. They are also a nod to a 1987 limited comic series, Green Arrow, The Longbow Hunters. Arrow draws a lot from the series, as it was the first to move the character Green Arrow in a darker direction, away from trick arrows and gimmicks to traditional arrows, just like the show. The series also marked the beginning of Mike Grell's work with the character and introduced Shadow and Eddie Fires, who were key characters in Oliver's origin in the show. When Oliver speaks with Renee about the first meeting, he says, "I thought you were just a thug in a ridiculous costume." Renee's original costume consisted of a hockey mask and street clothing, the same kind worn by the vigilante Casey Jones, who Stephen Amell portrayed in the film Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. The season ending with Oliver imprisoned in a Supermax prison where everyone knows he is the Green Arrow appears to be lifted from the film project Green Arrow Escape from Supermax, also just listed as Supermax. A planned film written and potentially directed by David S. Goyer, it was to feature Green Arrow being roughly incarcerated in a Supermax prison filled with supervillains and having to escape before they kill him. The cast in Guggenheim called Oliver's outing game changer for this series, filled with long-lasting ramifications and things that cannot be undone. According to the latter, it acts more of an unconventional kind of finale that still feels like a season finale. Mel jokingly hoped that the finale is 3/10 as good as Parenthood's series finale, where the entire Braverman family appeared in the final scene of the series together except for Zeke. This is the first season finale not to feature John Barrowman in any capacity. And now finally, let's take a look at a goof. Felicity's clearly just tapping her fingers on her keyboard at one point, not even pressing the keys while typing. Hmm. So overall, it's the finale to season 6. It's really powerful, and I do like the fact that Team Arrow finally reconciled and stuff at the end of the season, which, it would have been better if they did so. If they did so in the middle of the season, but hey, what you gonna do? So overall, I give life sentence 5 arrowheads out of 5. Well, thank you all for joining me on this look at Arrow Season 6. I hope you all enjoyed it. And tune in next year as we take a look at Arrow's season 7, which will begin with the episode Inmate 4587. And anyway, tune in next month for Star Trek September 2026 as we take a look at the seventh and final season of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. So be on the lookout for that next month. So, yeah. So, anyway, until next year, in the words of Oliver Queen, you have failed this city.